I don't know what's worse, the title of this movie or the fact that Disney is still trying to keep the Star Wars brand relevant now long after they've completely destroyed it. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Let's go, baby! The Mandalorian and Grogu trailer in full effect. My boy Grogu is about to carry the entire Star Wars franchise on his little green back. I don't know what everybody's talking about. I can't get enough Pedro Pascal. Oh wait, is that the Razor Crest? Wait, is that Ripley? This is the way to make $1 billion. We are so back. We're about to experience Disney Star Wars peak cinema for the first time in 6 years. We will be seated. So it's almost hard to believe that this is the first Star Wars movie that is going to be released since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
And I say that because we've had many projects announced and talked about and ultimately either delayed or canceled over the past several years. And it very much gives the impression that Disney and Lucasfilm had no idea where to take this franchise cinematically after The Rise of Skywalker. And that's why they relegated all Star Wars content to their streaming service, which is pretty embarrassing when you think about the juggernaut that this franchise once was. There are still people out there who like to deny the fact that Star Wars is not what it once was. And there is no one to blame for that but the people in charge. Yet here we are with yet another example of how they are approaching the Star Wars brand all wrong.
Something very familiar about all this.
The first film in 6 years will in fact not be a mind-blowing event film that will reinvigorate interest in the franchise. No, it's a continuation of an overrated streaming series that absolutely nobody asked for. This screams Disney and Lucasfilm basically saying, we don't know what else to do, so we're just going to take the easy way out. They looked at their releases and they said, well, The Mandalorian was probably the most well-received thing that we've put out, so let's try to capitalize on that. Let's just plaster Grogu on everything like the gimmick that he is to hide the fact that we don't know how to tell stories anymore. And oh yeah, let's create yet another opportunity for people to see Pedro Pascal on the big screen. Just what everybody asked for. What they are hoping for is that what little interest this show once had prior to season 3 will somehow carry over into box office success.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
But what they aren't counting on is people with some level of standards asking a very important question. Why am I paying to watch what looks like an extended episode of a series I've already seen in theaters? I need to ask everyone a serious question. While watching this trailer, did absolutely anything about it jump out to you? Did they show you anything that made you feel like this was a must-see event like Star Wars films of the past? We've quite literally seen all of this before, and that is a pretty common theme when it comes to Disney Star Wars, and that is precisely why they fail time and time again.
That is why you fail.
They even took the lazy way out when it came to the title of this movie, just so no one gets confused about what they're signing up to watch. You know, some people are enamored with the idea of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni taking this franchise over and restoring it to its former glory. And I would kindly respond to all of those people and say, outside of George Lucas himself somehow regaining control of this franchise, there is no chance in hell of that ever happening. This franchise has been dead in the water for some time now, and the fact that they are going in this route, of all routes, only accentuates that. They are now trying to incite nostalgic reactions for something that came out only 6 years ago. Have you ever heard of anything more pathetic and more desperate? I mean, they've exhausted pretty much all of the cheap nostalgia bait that they can get out of the original trilogy, as well as the prequel trilogy. And now they're going to try to capitalize on the extremely rare success stories from the sequel trilogy era of Star Wars that they created. And even with The Mandalorian, which a lot of people did seem to enjoy, I felt thought it was pretty much overrated because it was basically making a Boba Fett show without Boba Fett. Only to make an actual Boba Fett show later on that they also somehow made about the Mandalorian.
Why?
And because of this, as well as the abysmal third season of The Mandalorian, I, as well as a lot of other people, are already experiencing Mandalorian fatigue. And it's all because of the way that Disney Lucasfilm is trying to force this character and Grogu down our throats even when we don't want it. The third season of your hit show came and went and nobody gave a shit. You already killed interest in this property. What makes you think there are enough people who care enough to justify this story continuing? And if you think it's just me being a hater and just saying this for the sake of saying it, all you have to do is look at the comments under the posts about this trailer. Of course, you have the people who are saying it's peak and that we are so back, but nobody really takes those people seriously.
Let's go!
Because you have other people who are voicing very realistic criticisms. Like Politicat here, who says, quote, I am Pedro Pascal tired. We also have Funhead, who said, quote, why would I pay money to go watch an episode of TV in the theater? Whimsical Wizard said, this seems like a I'll wait for it to come onto streaming movie. And the Cocaine Bear said, I am not even slightly curious about this film. Staying far away, not even a rental. To flip the Mandalorian slogan on its head, this is not the way. This is not the way to get people interested again, and this is not the way to inspire optimism after years of incompetence. Lucasfilm and Disney has turned Star Wars into yet another MCU carbon copy, meaning content that is the equivalent of theme park rides with little to no soul or value behind them.
It's true.
I mean, I watched this trailer and I don't even know what this movie is about. I don't know who the villain is. I don't know what the conflict is. I don't know why I should give a shit. It feels like the marketing team just basically said, well, make sure the trailer has the Mandalorian and Grogu, predominantly, and just throw in some random aliens and a couple action shots, and that'll be enough to get people talking. Oh, people are talking, but not in the way that they wanted. It felt like they didn't even put any effort into the trailer, so why would I be optimistic about the movie itself? This has to be one of the most lackluster and uneventful trailers that I've seen for a movie in some time. So much so that I can't even break the trailer down like I normally would, because there's nothing in the trailer of substance worth talking about. The Mandalorian and Grogu looks like just another Disney Star Wars project, meaning not special at all. Just completely devoid of the heart and soul that made this once proud franchise so beloved by so many people.
Y'all be cool. Right on.